I told everyone this wasn't going to be an easy fight. I'm going to start this off by saying I think people need to start analyzing boxing fights for what they are, not what they want them to be. I think if people start to look at fights this way, it will be a lot easier to have a clear view of how a fight is going to go. What I mean by that is, if you don't like somebody, that doesn't mean they're going to do bad in a fight. If you're a fan of another fighter, that doesn't mean that everybody else in the weight class is bad. If one fighter beats one fighter, that doesn't mean that he can beat the other fighter. Like, you can't do boxing math, and you just have to go off of what does this fighter do good and bad, and what does this fighter do good and bad. And then you put it together, and then you'll be able to see who has a good chance of winning the fight. And if you can't even figure out who won the fight, you can kind of figure out how the fight will go. It's only a few times in boxing, especially in the recent years, that I've looked at a fight and I've been surprised. This fight was not one of them. Devin Haney has never been a knockout puncher. He's never been a power puncher. That is not his thing. He has 15 KOs. I'm pretty sure 10 of them is in Mexico. So the fact that a lot of people thought he was going to stop Ryan Garcia is crazy. I don't care if Ryan Garcia came to the fight drunk, throwing up, and whatever. Devin Haney is not that guy to knock somebody out. He fought Gamboa, and he did not hurt him. That speaks for itself. People fight Gamboa for highlights. Devin Haney is the only boxer to go against Gamboa and not get highlights from it. He doesn't have power. I don't care who he drops or who he makes shake. That's not his thing. He doesn't have power. Yes, it's boxing. You hit somebody in the right spot at the right time. Technically, anybody can drop or hurt or KO anyone. But when you're fighting someone who also punches very, very hard, who is an actual threat, your power is not going to show up that night. It just won't. Now, with Ryan Garcia, he was never a skillful boxer. The reason why he was one of the four princes, or whatever Ring Magazine called him, it was Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, and Gervonta Tank Davis. They all brought different things to the table. Ryan wasn't there because of his skills. He was there because of his star power, his explosiveness, and his speed. That's why he was on that list. Now, when we're putting these two dudes together in a matchup, the very simple prediction that I had whenever I didn't feel like explaining it to anybody, Devin Haney has only fought two fast fighters that I know of. That was Lomachenko and Linares. In both of those fights, he got hurt. Now, if we compare their speed to Ryan Garcia, he's faster than them. Skill-wise, no, he's not better than them. He's not. But he's faster than Linares, and he's faster than Lomachenko. Power, it's not even close. So with just those two attributes being so high, this was Devin Haney's most dangerous fight. By far. I'm not saying that he didn't have a risk of losing to other people before, but he had a risk of losing very bad against Ryan Garcia. How were the odds so crazy to start off? I think that goes back to what I was saying at first. A lot of times people's perception of boxing messes up what is actually going on. Just because there's a lot of fighters around Ryan Garcia that's better than him, that does not make him a bum. And just because Devin Haney can beat somebody like Regis Prograis and shut him down and completely beat him 12-0, that does not mean he's the greatest fighter alive. That was just a good fight for him to make him look very, very good. That doesn't mean that nobody can mess with him. So it's I think for this fight, Devin Haney was very overrated. Not saying he's not good. Like I said before, Devin Haney is good and I feel like he's great. But he was overrated. And Ryan Garcia was underrated. And because of that, it flipped it. So now they're going to underrate Devin Haney and they're going to overrate Ryan Garcia. So don't be surprised if Ryan Garcia fights another top guy and he gets knocked out. And don't be surprised if Devin Haney fights another type guy and he outboxes the shit out of him. Devin Haney is good. But the thing about boxing, for this fight, and if they ever fight again, it will always be a close fight. I predicted it will be a majority decision to Devin. The reason why I said majority to Devin I knew the scorecards would be so close that one judge will have it a draw. I did not think that Devin Haney would get dropped that much times. The scary thing about this fight, and if they have a rematch, Ryan Garcia timed him in the first 40 seconds. The second jab that Devin Haney threw got timed and countered, and then Ryan hurt him like this. Boom. That easy. That's not good because it shows that when Ryan is fresh, when they're both fresh, slightly, he might have the edge in Devin Haney. It's nothing Devin Haney can do when Ryan Garcia is fresh. There's nothing he can do with him. When Ryan started to slow down, when you could see he wasn't as in good a shape that Devin Haney was, Devin Haney started picking up, winning some rounds, but he didn't win those rounds because he was the better fighter in those rounds. He actually just won those rounds because Ryan Garcia wasn't doing shit. He was just turning his back. He was trying to recover, circling around the ring. That's also not a good sign. So if they fight again, let's say if, Ryan is in better shape and he knows he's going to know what to expect even more now. Let's say if he kept walking him down and kept being smart the same way he was like in the first round of the fight. This just could be a bad matchup for Devin Haney. And I think the fight will always be close. But this might be one of those situations where they're probably going to fight 2 or 3 times. It's going to be hard for Devin Haney to get a win. And if he does be able to beat him in the trilogy, I can still see Ryan winning 2-1. That's just how it is, man. It's like, it was crazy, man. The energy was crazy in there. I went last night. It was dope. It was really like a dope thing to be around. I posted on Instagram. These are the 4 young princes of boxing. They were never supposed to fight in New York. They were supposed to fight in Vegas. Somehow New York got lucky. Thankfully, I was able to see that. But, man, this was a crazy night in boxing, man. I wonder what's next for Devin Haney. I feel like Ryan is going to have like a roller coaster career up and down. Like he's going to just have a good fight, bad fight. I can't really trust him. I don't really know where he's going to go. But Devin Haney, I think it's very important that he has to figure out something with his coaching team. I know he won't remove his father, but he needs someone else around him that's smart. I seen this in the gym. I seen this. I watched him train and I kept seeing the hand drop. And I feel like if you're fighting somebody with a very good left hook, that should be the #1 thing that's fixed in training camp. This mistake, we're not doing that this fight. Let's make a new mistake, but this mistake, we're fixing that. We're going to be up here the whole time. They didn't fix that. So it really questions the coaching staff. I seen Ryan working with Derek James. They was working on catching the jab and countering the jab. He fucking did it. So it's like coaching, your team, timing of when you fight people, that's what makes a fighter good. It's not always just skill for skill, talent for talent. It's everything else around it. Never forget that. It's a reason why Tank is going to beat all these people. It's not that he's just... he is superior than all these other guys to me. But it's not just that. He has a better team. He has a better coaching staff. He understands timing of when you should fight people. And he understands how to do everything in the spotlight. Like, the light is not going to bother somebody like Tank. These other guys, Shakur, Teofimo, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, they're still adjusting to this. Hopefully they can adjust to it before they can fight Tank. Ryan fought him already, but as we see, the spotlight makes him go crazy. Hopefully the rest of them can adjust to it, or else Tank is going to dominate them. He's going to dominate all these other guys, and then people are going to start to see, just because you don't like a fighter, a lot of people don't like Tank. A lot of people. Just because you don't like a fighter as a person, that does not mean that that fighter is not good or not capable of beating anybody else. Lesson learned, don't follow the hype. Look at a fight with your own 2 eyes. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. Shit was amazing.